All right. So tonight, this is our first week, and we're gonna do this as part of our new actions, or whatever I called it, start new action start group or whatever. We're gonna something like that, right? We're gonna meet and and I wanted to focus on the vital behaviors. So has anybody? I know me, Brian, and Tom, we did like new coach training last year. Has anybody participated in that before in the past? Grace, you did? Okay. So it's going to be similar to that. We're just going to talk about the vital behaviors, because that's what this group is really about, right? It's about doing the vital behaviors. It's about filling out your BAT and having accountability and having a group that is all doing it together, right? And that's how you get kickstarted again, right? So whether you're a brand new coach or whether you're coming back after 2 years or whatever, it doesn't matter. We all have to get back to the vital behaviors, right? And if you don't know what those are, we're going to tell you all about them. And we're going to dive deeper into each vital behavior each week, into the 4 different ones. And yeah, that's basically it. So let's get started. Brian, you want to take the first one?
Oh boy.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you remember?
Put me right up there on stage.
You remember the first one?
I have no clue. No. Thanks, Greg, for doing these calls, for doing this group, first off, and getting us together. I'm very rusty. I haven't done a call with you guys in a long time, and I miss you guys. I miss this, and I'm glad that I'm taking part in this new group that we're going to do here for the next 30 days. Right? We're doing it for a month?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So if I'm a little rusty, Tom, you jump in. Greg, you jump in. Everyone else, you guys jump in too. But which vital behavior do you want me to talk about? I don't know what order you want to go in.
Just pick one. Doesn't matter.
All right, proof of the product?
Sure.
That's a good one right there. Proof of the product.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you what that vital behavior means to me. There's descriptions of it in the back office, and you guys will talk about it a little bit too. But for me, proof of the product doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing the Beachbody workout programs, that you're drinking Shakeology, that you're doing Beachbody on Demand or the Ultimate Portion Fix. Yes, those are the products that we offer. But to me, proof of the product is more so living this lifestyle, is living the healthy lifestyle, being proof of that. Living the accountability lifestyle, living the lifestyle where we like to do challenge groups, and we like to cheer each other on and encourage each other and share our knowledge and share our wisdom. To me, that is our number one product, because there's no way in hell that I would have achieved the results and the goals that I've achieved, not only with losing weight and getting healthy and getting fit, but also the financial goals that I have achieved with this business, that none of that would have happened if it wasn't for the amazing people and sharing my journey. So proof of the product to me is sharing your journey, is sharing everything about this lifestyle. Most of it revolves around Beachbody with the products and using them. So you definitely want to share that. That's how I got my results. But a lot of people tend to forget when they talk about proof of the product is all of those other little things. Because, I'm huge on my challenge groups. I love my challenge groups. I got, my coaches on this call here that are in my challenge groups. And that is where I love to be. That is the bread and butter of why I do what I do. Is the people and the challenge groups, and really focusing on that and focusing on other people's results and just trying to help people. So that's the product that I love, being proof of that. So if you are not running a challenge group yet on your own, I highly recommend doing that. Even if you have one person in there, you and your best friend, because that's where you start. That's how it starts. My first challenge group, it was me. I invited people, and there was only a couple people in there. I was in Greg's challenge group. And this is going back, before the Challenge Tracker app, when we were on the message boards. And I was just like, hey, all you guys in Greg's group, just come to my group and say hi, because I was scared. I was like alone, and they did. And we'll do the same for you guys, when you start your group, and then it just kind of took off from there. So that's being proof of the product. Obviously, doing the workout programs, picking one, talking about Beachbody On Demand, talking about Shakeology, talking about the performance line. Almost every single post I do in my challenge groups, I'm focusing on the supplements that I take, which is Energize. I can't do anything without. Who here can't do anything without Energize? Tom, yeah, me and Tom, Carrie, that stuff. I live, eat, breathe that stuff. So that's why, even if I'm not talking about it in my posts, there's a picture of it right there, because that's proof of my product. That's what fuels me, and then I use recovery, but maybe it's something else. And then of course Shakeology, but being proof of the product, to me is just sharing this community with as many people as you can. So that's a vital behavior right there.
Hey, Brian, can you share your story with people that might not know you?
Sure. I'll be really quick. I started with this healthy lifestyle back in 2012. It was July of 2012. I just recently came out of rehab. I was an alcoholic, or I am an alcoholic. Also was addicted to a lot of different prescription medications. Completely unhealthy. I weighed 260 pounds at my heaviest. And I had a slew of health problems, obviously because of my weight and because of my addiction. And I just got to the point where that I knew that if I didn't do something, and my doctors told me to, that I would be dead. I had a couple years, maybe 5 years left, and I would be dead. And I was 39 years old. So I knew I had to do something. So getting clean was the first step. The second step was getting healthy, trying to lose the weight, learning about it. Had no idea what Beachbody was, but back then we had infomercials, saw Insanity. My wife saw it, said, we're getting that, we're doing that, we're getting you healthy, I'm getting healthy. So we got Insanity, and I was like, who the hell is this guy Shaun T? He's crazy, he's nuts, he's trying to kill us. He's just crazy. I puked the first time I did the fit test, and I couldn't do any of it. And then the next day, I did just a tiny bit more than I did the day before, and that's how my journey started. And then I met Greg in the challenge group that I was just talking about. Flash forward about a year, and I lost 100 pounds, got in the best shape of my life, completely reversed everything, my high blood pressure, borderline diabetic, fatty liver, triglycerides, cholesterol, you name it, all of that bad stuff. Completely reversed it, fell in love with the lifestyle. It was my why for doing it, obviously, was to get healthy, but my why boiled down to my sobriety. So I had to continue to not only work out, and that's when I started getting into coaching, was I needed to make sure that all of my free time was spent with positive behaviors and positive habits. Otherwise, I would go back to that, which is what most addicts do, is they don't fill that time that you used to use when you were, drinking or being hungover or whatever. Filling that time with positive behaviors. And that's what coaching brought to me. It allowed me to fill that time up. So flash forward 2019, this May will be 7 years sober on May 11th. And I've just been going strong with this ever since, and I love it.
And we might get Brian to share his story at Summit on stage in front of 25,000 people.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see.
I nominated him in corporate. They loved it. Yeah. So.
Oh boy.
Have they contacted you?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you got your name in the hat at least.
Okay. I did do, if for those of you that know and that don't, a pro or a commercial. I guess not a commercial, but it was for a Super Saturday video, my story, and it was shared almost about a year ago for Super Saturday, and we did it at last year's summit. They recorded it and interviewed me, and that was stressful enough. So I don't know.
Well, speaking of sharing your story and like that video, right? That's an amazing video. You should be sharing that like all constantly, right? Like before and afters, because like a lot of people forget, right? It's like, oh, I shared that like 2 years ago. Everybody knows, right? I mean, I saw Grace shared her before and after. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. You get blown away again, even though you see it. And like that video that they did for you is money. I would be sharing every single person I talk to. I'd be sending them my video,
And you're absolutely right. And I've been kind of complacent about doing that and sharing that. In the last 6 months, I've been really complacent with my coaching business, which is something that worked for me. It wasn't like it was frustrating or whatever, but I've just got to that point where I was satisfied with what I was doing, and some other with my day job that I have, with devoting more time to that. So I kind of scaled back a little bit on coaching, and that's why you guys haven't seen me on these calls. But yeah, that's exactly what I need to start doing. But you made a good point, Greg, because I started to feel that way, where you share your story, or you share your before and after pictures, and you share them and you share them. And then finally you're like, man, I'm sharing. I got to share it. People are getting sick of seeing, my before and after pictures, or they're getting sick of hearing my story, and you feel that way. But the truth of the matter is that's not true, because you're constantly always reaching.
She's giving me the finger.
Because you're constantly always reaching new people. You're constantly reminding people about your story. And there will be people that will see your story, that will see your before and after pictures, that will follow you, that will read about you. Some people you don't even know about. And then a year later or 2 years later is when they reach out to you, and they say, I've been following you for a year. I wanted to reach out to you on multiple occasions, but for some reason, personal reasons or whatever in my life, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't find the strength or the courage to do it. But you're giving me that strength and courage, so I'm reaching out to you now. What can you do for me? Can you help me? I need to lose 80 pounds. I need to, the doctor told me that. I just went and saw the doctor, and he said that I have diabetes now. Or my blood pressure's out of control, and you don't even realize it, but because of what you've been doing for the last year or 2 years, you're reaching somebody that is people that are following you that you might not even know about. So whenever you think that, you're saturating, I guess, always constantly talking about your story, you're not. And I took a break from that, but now I'm back. So you guys are going to see my story all the time, all right? All of you, all right? I'm going to quiz you after every time I post my story.
Load it up on Instagram TV. I want to see it again.
Yeah, I got to do that. And that's the thing with Instagram, with that story. I love it. It's professionally done, just like you said, Greg. I need to start using it. But with Instagram, it gets, what is it, 30 seconds or 20 seconds or something?
Not the Instagram TV. Do that one.
Instagram TV, that could be the whole thing then.
Yeah, it could be the whole thing, and then you can like share it or do other things with it. Or it could just stay. It just stays on your profile, right?
I'll look into that. Yeah, instead of 15-second, 20-second clips.
Right.
Yeah, too many of them.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
Mhm.
Tom, do you want to?
Love you, Carrie. Love you, Wendy.
Tom, you pick another vital behavior and talk about that.
Might as well go in order, right? Connect, invite, and follow up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm very introverted, and when I first got involved in coaching, I really just fell in love with the programs and the product, and the whole concept to me was amazing. And I mean, it just worked, and that's really why I just got very excited with it and decided to run with it. But my concern was like, how do you connect with people? Like, I had nobody on Facebook and Instagram, and didn't even know anything about Instagram. And talking to people, it wasn't not really me, but I connect with everybody now. It's amazing. But who's not concerned about health, fitness? I'm sorry, cat keeps jumping in front of me. I think everybody. So I just I use the products, I do the program. I mean, it kind of ties into being proof of the product. And I know it works. I believe in it, and I just share it with everyone. It's it's like anything else. If you go to a good restaurant, see a good movie, just share it. So I connect with people all the time, constantly posting. I know Facebook, everybody's like it's kind of dead, but my Facebook, I have groups that I started from when I got involved with coaching 2 years ago, and they're still just growing and going strong. And I'm still meeting new people on Facebook. So I didn't rule that out totally. Sorry, one more time. Pretty good. So he loves the camera. So I mean, I connect with you got your warm market, just friends, family, coworkers, and even when you think that's you exhausted it and it's dead, people are watching and they do see what you do, and maybe they won't even say anything or just shrug it off, blow you off at first, but it's like I always just see they always just come around and just they're watching what you do, and then will eventually come to you. It's it just always goes full circle. I have I work in the business with a lot of contractors and stuff. And it's like I just it's something I believe in and love. So I always take advantage of opportunities. Like I had a guy who's a carpet salesman came to see me last week, and a guy I've been dealing with for years, and he was kind of limping. He said his legs hurt. He was doing squats. Boom, open the door. Turns out he's doing P90X. He goes, I dusted off my old P90X CDs, DVDs. So I just explained to him how now we have BOD and Shakeology, and just now he's joining my challenge group, buying a challenge pack. It's just it always seems to be a way. So it's everybody's again who's not concerned with their health and fitness. Inviting to challenge groups. Started my first challenge group. It was me. That I had nobody else. But I did a 60-day. It was 60 days. I had nobody in it, so it was a little discouraging, and it's tough. So it's and again, I think Greg and Brian, when I first did it, they told me it's you're not alone. It happens all the time. So don't get discouraged, but you can pair up with each other. It's that's what I wound up doing was I teamed up with a couple of coaches, and we put together a challenge group and just kind of grew and snowballed, and and you get there, and it will take off. So just don't get discouraged. But you gotta run groups. We got the team group. You can invite people to the team engage group, but constantly inviting. It's a great tool. I invite through social media. It's just on Instagram, constantly posting. Just join my group. I mean, you just follow me, Greg, Brian. It's all these coaches. You can see what people are doing. Make it your own. Be unique. But it's just easy. Get yourself out there and do it. You got to invite. You'll hear it a lot, and it's really so important. It's I didn't realize it at first, and Brian again, Greg were telling me when I started. These guys would I sat through these training calls with them in the beginning, and I just took their word and just went for it, and it works. I mean, everything you're hearing, it's proven. So your group's build up, and you gotta, then your follow up is the thing very important. I don't want to skip over that. It's a lot of people have to hear things. Sometimes you have to remind them 20 times. You always follow up. You'll have conversations, and I track every conversation. I have an Excel spreadsheet. People use different tracker sheets, but it's really important that the people that you do talk to, you're connecting and inviting. Just just keep a track list of it and go back and follow up with them. And people aren't going to chase you or even just remember. So you may feel like even like you're nagging or you're just a pain in the ass, but you know what? Sometimes people need a kick in the ass, especially when it comes to health and fitness. That's why they need coaches, right? So make sure you follow up, get them in your groups, and then just make sure you're in there, you're encouraging, you're helping. And once they're in the groups, you'll see how they. It's funny how you got people that say aren't even using the products, and you get people up that I'm in there posting my Shakeology, and other people that are using it, but people just start to post things that aren't even Shakeology. It's funny. I think somebody else had said that, and I thought in one of these calls, and I thought it was kind of odd. But one was posting Slim Fast on Shakeology, but I turned that into a conversation. I was like, do you realize what's in that? And it's just boom, and you get them into Shakeology, just try it. So it's just very important to me. It's connecting, inviting, follow up, get them in your challenge groups. If you don't have a group until you start one, or you can team up or use the Team Engage, and the part of that and the Connect, Invite, I'm sure if you guys are all in this group, you've seen the Success Club tracker, I would imagine, right? Everybody seen this? Is everybody using it? Greg's going to be testing you all on this sheet. Now, when this first came out, I was like, I'm doing all this. I don't really need this. I'm doing it. And then, when I decided I was going to actually check off what I'm doing, I wasn't quite doing it. This covers a lot. It's even if it's just to jar your memory, you think you're doing. I mean, some of it's real basic. You're working out, you're doing Shakeology. It's easy, but I'm telling you, look at this, use it. Once I really started using this and making a point, you see things start to pop. So don't take it for granted. It's amazing. This is taken from I believe all the top coaches were interviewed and by Beachbody to come up with what they're doing to make them so successful, and this was what came from it. So it's good stuff. It's not hard to do. So
can I interject something, Tom?
Sure.
So I don't know if you guys noticed or we posted it in the chat in the groups, but Instagram, today is they crack down on all the automated tools like Stem Social, Follow Adder, which I use. Other coaches use Jumper. And across the board, everybody got messaged today saying that they need to stop or they're going to be suspended, basically. So I've stopped my Follow Adder. I know, Tom, you stopped your Stem Social. We've reached out to them and, they just give you their standard scripted, reply back. But bottom line, we need to stop it for a while. Maybe a month from now, if coaches are still getting away with it, let them be the guinea pig. Maybe we could start it up again. But, I think it sucks because I love that could do the work for me and I could just, have people message me and I could respond to them. But now we got to go back to basics, right? And that BAT that Tom was just talking about really is going to come into play because now we gotta start setting goals, and I gotta do it too. It's like, how many people am I personally going to, find today? Every single day, right? Like how many? So we're gonna have to start searching hashtags, right? So, start taking notes, right? You're gonna have to set a goal for how many people that you're gonna find on a hashtag, and what you need to do is let's say you come up with a list of hashtags that you're going to search, right? Those hashtags that are maybe you, right? I think it was Grace who said, don't you search like mom of two or something like that, right? That's her, right? So those are great hashtags, but whatever hashtag that you search, I search, for example, Tom talked about P90X. I search P90X a lot, right? Because whenever I find somebody doing P90X, I know that they've had it for 15 years. They don't have a coach. They're looking for a challenge group, and that is just easy pickings for me. So every single day I'm going to search hashtag, and what I do is if I see somebody doing it, I comment on their post. I ask them a question on their post. I like their post, and then I follow them, right? Because I want them to follow me back. And if they reply to my message, then I'll comment back to them and start up a conversation. Maybe I'll private message them. I'll invite them to my challenge group, and bam, then they become my customer, and we go from there. But regardless of whether if you're just searching Mama 2, for example, maybe you don't want to, invite them right away. Maybe you just want to comment on their stuff. You want to like their stuff. You want to follow them, get them to follow you back. And what that's going to do is it's going to get their eyeballs on your page, right? On your posts that you're making. And they're going to start seeing your stories. And hopefully you're doing your invites, right? So Brian talked about proof of the product, right? So it's good to be posting your workouts. I mean, I can say that 99% of coaches probably are posting their workouts, okay? But I can tell you that the majority of coaches are making 0 sales, okay? Or they're doing 0 invites. I won't even say sales. They're doing 0 invites because they're just sharing about fitness, okay? Maybe they're sharing a picture of them with their Shakeology, right? That's not invites, right? You gotta be doing invites. You gotta be talking about your group, messaging people, inviting people in your posts and in your stories, okay? And you gotta be doing that every single week. And you gotta make sure that you're doing invites for your challenge groups as well as for the coaching opportunity. I can again say that most coaches never recruit a single coach. And the reason is because they never talk about it. How often do you talk about coaching, right? And you don't have to just do it on social media. I just posted a video from Jamie Shepard, 15-star diamond coach, in our Engage group this week about how for the past 2 years, she's built her business from an 8-star diamond to a 15-star diamond, and without doing it using social media. She talked about how she does it in person, belly to belly. She's involved in all these different types of groups and functions, and she meets her tribe, her people, in what she's doing. Of course, she's still doing social media, right? Maybe they, friend her on Facebook, and then they see her that way, but it's just another way that you can build the business, right? So you don't have to do it all through social media. So definitely check that out if you haven't checked that out. And I just wanted to tell you about, since STEM Social and those tools are basically on hold or dead, this week, starting tomorrow, me and everybody else on this call, I want you to commit to set a goal on your BAT of how many people you're going to search and how many people you're going to do every single day, and start tomorrow doing it and start tracking it on your BAT. All right. Do you have anything else to add, Tom?
No, I think that covers number 2.
Okay, cool. Number 3. I'll talk about number 3. Even though I just got done talking. So it's personal development. Personal development. Okay. So, a lot of us think we don't need personal development. I know I tried to talk Brian into doing personal development for like 2 years, and he's like, nah, I don't need to do that. But then he did it, and he loves it now. So, trust me, it will help improve not only your coaching business, but your life, right?
I'll just say one thing real quick.
Yep.
Greg's absolutely right, because I was like, why do I need to do this? I've been through so much already. I'm learning on my own. And I was a coach for about a year. And then Greg finally got me doing personal development. My business did not take off until I started doing personal development. It did not. That is when it took off. Once I started learning how to grow into the person that I wanted to be, is when my business started taking off. And that's what personal development did for me. It taught me the tools that I needed in order to get to where I wanted to be, instead of just leaping there, blindly. These tools got me there. So it's probably the number one vital behavior, if you ask me.
Yeah. Let's talk about like what is personal development. So personal development it's typically reading a book, listening to a book, investing in learning skills, that can develop you as a leader or a better person. And it doesn't have to be, there are different areas, right? Maybe you want personal development on becoming better organized. You have to focus on, you have to do analysis on yourself, right? What do you need help with? Is it leadership? Do you struggle with, if you don't see yourself as a leader, if you say, I could never do what Greg does, or I could never lead a team, well, then that's what you need to work on, right? So you need to go find every book on leadership that you can find and start doing that, right? If you're like, I'm just too scatterbrained, I can't focus, I can't stay on track, I can't do follow-ups, I lose, track of people. Well, then you need to do personal development on things like organizational skills and time management. And there are so many books on that. And just post in the group. Like, guys, if you want ideas on any topic, post them in the group. And I promise you, there's somebody in the group that has read awesome books on it or whatever. And maybe you're like, I don't do personal development because I don't have time for it. Okay. It's like, I'd love to read all these books, but I don't have time. Well, trust me, guys, I was the same way when I worked 50 hours a week. Plus I had to, come home and do my challenge groups and do my power hour and all that stuff. I didn't have time to read books, right? So what I did is I found this amazing service. You might have heard of it. It's called Audible. So I subscribed to Audible, like $15 a month. You get a couple books to start with or something. They give you so many books to start with, and then you get a book a month or something like that. But yeah, I had so many books that I couldn't even keep up, And what I did is I would listen to them on the way to work, the way to and from work. And I had an hour commute. Okay. So, it's like whenever your mind is free, but your hands are busy, is perfect time to be listening to personal development. So you don't have to be, if you don't have a commute, well, maybe, do you cook dinner for, 30 minutes to an hour a day, where your mind's not really busy, but you're just doing busy work. Maybe you do laundry, maybe you clean or whatever. So think about times like that you can do it. But in the car is an awesome time. And it doesn't have to be audiobooks either. I think I have in the units, I have a unit like on the social learning in the group on personal development, where I shared a whole bunch of links and free books, free audios and podcasts and stuff. So look for that in there. If it's not in there, I'll give it to you. But if you guys have heard of Dani Johnson, for example, she runs, she's a big personal development person. She runs, conferences all over the United States. And she's an amazing speaker. And I attended her conference, and I paid hundreds of dollars to attend her conference. And I have her complete audio book, her audios, not books, but her audios. And I've shared them all in the group. Okay, so they're all for free. And there's another one. Eric Worre is probably the leading network. He speaks on network marketing. What is network marketing, and how network marketing is the best business in the world that you can possibly be in. And that's what we're in here as Beachbody coaches. And he's written a book, an amazing book. One of my favorite books is called Go Pro. And again, I've spent hundreds of dollars attending Eric Worre conferences. He has GoPro Mastery Conference every year. and I have shared his book, his audio book, for free. You can have it, and also his conference. He has a like a 3-day conference where he talked, and I shared that, and that's in the group too. And then there was this one guy, let me tell you about Craig Holiday. Craig Holiday was a multimillionaire with Amway, and Beachbody, when I started as a coach, Beachbody hired him to be a mentor, a leader in corporate, so if you're familiar with like Kim Carver and those guys, right? He was like, he was like one of them, right? But he was this inspirational mentor and speaker, and he did a whole series. It was on the National Wake Up Calls, right? And speaking of the National Wake Up Calls, that's a great place to get personal development. So make sure you're listening or watching the National Wake Up Calls every week. But he did a whole series. It was like a 7-part series on the National Wake Up Calls, which was phenomenal. And that is, I also have a link to that in the group. I mean, trust me, listen to it. It'll blow you away. So I have all those resources plus several audiobooks that are all available, so you guys can use those. And podcasts and National Wake Up Calls are great places. I still listen. I try to listen every single week to the National Wake Up Call. So that's personal development. Now let's, Brian, you want to talk about the last one, recognition?
Yeah, another vital behavior, recognition. I remember when I became a coach, we used to have 3 vital behaviors. So this is the 4th one, but it was pretty much understood, but they officially made it a vital behavior. And that's recognition. And that is recognizing accomplishments by your team, recognizing accomplishments by your challengers that are in your group, constantly encouraging, and just recognizing, all the amazing, wonderful things that the lifestyle brings, that other people are doing, and just being aware of that. It's really self-explanatory. So that's pretty much it. You guys have anything on recognition?
All right, you could drag it out longer than that, Brian.
I know, right? Hey, I'm rusty. I told you, I'm rusty. The wheels are spinning, but I'm like, all right, wait a minute.
Well, how do you categorize recognition? Like, honestly, I'm looking at this sheet, I'm saying, did I really recognize that you? Like, does that mean in your challenge groups, just great job, or is that saying, hey, look at Brian, great job, you lost 5 pounds, everybody give a shout out to Brian? Like, what do you consider recognition?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's everything, right?
Yeah, we definitely need, and that's what we do as coaches, right? We recognize people, right? We recognize and we celebrate success, especially of our challengers, right? That's what we've got to do, right? I mean, that's what keeps them coming back and trusting us and, engaging with us and all that stuff, is because we're their biggest supporters, right? So it really makes sense. I mean, we kind of think of recognition as recognizing coaches for their rank advancements and stuff like that, which it's important, right? We need to do that too. We got to encourage our coaches, but I think it's more about what we need to do on a daily basis to recognize our challengers and our customers, because that's what it takes to be successful, right? I mean, as a coach, right, you got to be your biggest, their biggest fans, right? We got to be their supporters and their motivators and their helpers. So think about ways that you can do that in your challenges.
And it's not just recognizing them in your group, but also whatever venue or avenue you're using to grow your business. If it's social media, you're bringing that recognition to social media, to your Instagram, to your Facebook account, that you're recognizing. What I do is, somebody does something awesome in one of my groups, or they just started To Be Mindset or Ultimate Portion Fix, and they're having so much success with it. I'll reach out to them and ask them and say, hey, can I recognize you on my personal Facebook page? Or Instagram? Can I, put your picture up and just talk a little bit about your story? And 99 out of 100 times they say, of course, yes. So I'm doing recognition that way. So it's not just doing your recognition in a private setting, but making it public. Recognize all the achievements from everyone that and make it public. But always ask, because I never like to, post a recognition without, someone giving me permission. Unless they're a coach. If you're a coach, you're up for grabs. You're going, because you're already out there if you're a coach.
Yeah, I share all the time in our groups, like the transformations of the coach test groups. Just throw if you're looking for a post, throw one of those up on your timeline once a week, right? On Instagram or whatever, right? Hey, look at Coach so-and-so, how, in the past 30 days of what she did in the Ultimate Portion Fix, right? And that just draws interest to you. But one thing, Brian, that I love that you do is, I don't know if you still do it, but you did it in the past where you would create the little picture collage of all the people in your group or whatever, sometimes with like the filters or the Instagram faces or whatever.
Snapchat,
Yeah, right. But that's awesome.
We're all looking silly.
But yeah, because that shows that your groups are fun and it attracts people to your groups. But also,
one of my favorite posts, I just shared it not too long ago, recently, and I do that too. Like a post, if it's something from 2 years ago, I'll say, let me use that again, but I'll change the words around a little bit. But it was we're all Snapchat and we're all like clowns and other stuff. But my whole post was on how serious we are with fitness. We are dead serious. We don't have fun in our group. We focus on results. That's the only thing we're focused on. It's a boot camp. You come and join us. You ain't going to have fun. So that was the whole post. But then here we are, all clown makeup and Snapchat filters. So yeah,
that's great.
That got a lot of response the first time I did that.
Yeah, but I mean, one thing that you could also do is do a group recognition, right? I've seen coaches that do this, like have that collage of the people in your group or in your past group, right? And say something like, we lost 100 pounds in 30 days or something like that. That's really going to get people's attention, right? And you could celebrate and recognize the group achievement, right? Or we did 100 workouts or whatever. I mean, I don't know how many it would be, 30 times, however many people you have in your group, right? Or we drank, 500 shakes, something like that. Any of those things would catch people's eye and be like, what? Or I want to be part of this, right? Or we don't have fun, right? That would definitely catch people's eye. So think of ways that you can recognize people, right? Do you do anything else, Brian, like that? You do anything fun to recognize people or their achievements or something like that? I know you
a lot of different stuff. In the groups, in the private setting, we do challenges and prize giveaways for recognition. A lot of the prize giveaways I do is recognizing those challengers who are committed to their workouts, committed to their Shakeology. So a lot of my challenges are based on, I'll do a 7 for 7, 14 for 14, 21 for 21. You log your workout, your Shakeology, 21 days in a row. Then you're in the prize drawing, and then you win a prize. So, that's part of recognition there. Plus we're having fun doing it. And with the Challenge Tracker app, with the Coach Portal, it's really easy to track everybody's progress. Everybody's logging and their Shakeology. So it's, as you might think, man, what do I got to do? Write down and figure out who's doing what? No, the Challenge Tracker app does it all for you. Everything that everyone's doing. You can just run a report and then boom, or not run a report, but look at everyone's profile and boom, you see how many workouts and Shakeology posts that they have. So it's different fun things like that, doing different challenges and stuff.
Yeah, all good ideas. So that's the 4 vital behaviors at a high level. So every week we're going to dive in deeper into some of them. And hey, Grace, are you still on? Are you hiding?
She was cooking dinner.
I know. Yeah, but then we got the static picture that came up. Grace, Grace, Grace. Anyway, I will ask her, I guess, offline if she'll talk about Instagram, right? Because I know she's an expert in Instagram and Instagram inviting for our next call. But we'll go into more social media, right? Do's and don'ts and inviting, you know, not only on Instagram, but on Facebook and in person. And talk about some other things. So I guess that kind of wraps it up, unless anybody has any questions tonight. No? Okay. Well, then we'll see you guys next week, all right? And remember your homework, like set your goal, and everybody, seriously, like search, decide on your hashtags, search them tomorrow, like, comment, follow, all right?
Thanks, guys.
All right, see ya.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.